Tell him the man in black sent you.
A long journey of development and some bumps along the way, Dwayne Johnson finally made his debut as Teth Adam in the DC Extended Universe with Black Adam. But whether we'll see him again in Black Adam 2 is still up in the air. The movie's ending definitely left a few doors open and even teased a big character's return, hinting that a sequel could be on the way. However, Black Adam had a pretty rough time at the box office, and with the new DCU slate for Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters not mentioning a Black Adam sequel, it's natural for people to wonder if it's actually going to happen. There's been a lot of buzz around Black Adam, especially with Dwayne Johnson hyping it up as a game changer for the DC movie universe, even though the reviews weren't all that great. The movie dropped during a pretty uncertain time for DC Films, with Discovery taking over Warner Brothers, shaking things up internally, and even scrapping the DCEU movie timeline, along with the unexpected cancellation of Batgirl. Black Adam was supposed to be a fresh start for the franchise, but it looks like Black Adam 2 isn't in the cards. Here's the scoop on what happened with this sequel. Is it happening or not? Right now, Black Adam 2 hasn't been confirmed and seems to be in a bit of a limbo. It didn't make the cut for James Gunn's new DCU slate for Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. While there were some exciting announcements, like a new Superman and Batman, these also bring up another issue for Black Adam 2. Henry Cavill won't be returning as Superman. Even though the Black Adam post-credit scene teased a showdown, it's clear now that a Superman vs. Black Adam fight isn't happening, with a new actor set to play Superman in Superman Legacy. On top of that, recent reports suggest that none of the DCEU Justice League members will be returning in the new DCU, signaling a shift away from the old era. This could mean that Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam might also be recast, as it's hard to separate his version of the character from its DCEU origins. The absence of Black Adam 2 from the Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters slate isn't the only sign that the superhero's future is uncertain. Dwayne Johnson addressed the exclusion in a tweet, mentioning that while Black Adam 2 isn't happening, DC and his production company 7 Bucks are still exploring ways to bring Black Adam into future DC multiverse projects. This pretty much confirms that a direct sequel isn't in the cards, but it doesn't rule out Johnson appearing as Black Adam in other DC ventures. That said, it looks like The Rock might be focusing more on wrestling in the near future. He made a big return to WWE in 2024, leading up to a highly anticipated match at WrestleMania 40, where he teamed up with Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. The build-up to this match was one of the most hyped storylines in WWE, and the event itself was praised as one of the best WrestleMania shows ever. So it seems like Johnson's priorities might be shifting back to the ring for now. Dwayne often gets flack for playing the same type of character, the tough, fearless, eyebrow-raising action hero who never loses a fight or shows any real flaws. But it looks like that's about to change with 2 of his upcoming movies. A few years back, The Rock seemed unstoppable, cranking out hit movies like Marvel Studios does. But lately, things haven't been going so smoothly. His recent films, Red Notice and Jungle Cruise, didn't impress critics and underperformed, and Black Adam fell short at the box office, failing to shake up the DC universe like he'd hoped. It started to seem like audiences were getting tired of his predictable on-screen persona, and he needed to mix things up to keep their interest. Johnson is currently diving into a new challenge with a biopic about wrestler and mixed martial artist Mark Kerr called The Smashing Machine. He's playing Kerr, and Emily Blunt is set to star as his wife, Dawn Staples. What's interesting is that this film is an artsy A24 production. A few years ago, when Johnson was dominating the box office, it seemed unlikely that he'd end up in an A24 movie. But this kind of thoughtful drama is exactly the shakeup his career needs right now, especially since his big-budget blockbusters haven't been doing so well. So he's taking a bold step in the opposite direction of the usual Hollywood fare. There's no official release date for The Smashing Machine yet, but it's expected to hit theaters sometime in 2025. The film is being written and directed by Benny Safdie, known for his work on The Curse and as one half of the Safdie brothers, who made Good Time and Uncut Gems. With Safdie directing and Blunt co-starring, this could be Johnson's best shot yet at being considered for an Oscar nomination, or maybe even winning one. If you know more about this upcoming biopic movie, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the bell icon so you never miss an update. The Smashing Machine isn't the only surprising project on Johnson's plate. He's also set to star in the live-action remake of Moana, even though the original movie came out less than a decade ago. While Ali Cravalho won't be returning as Moana, someone new will take on the title role, but Johnson is back as Maui. Disney plans to release the Moana remake on July 10, 2026, giving Johnson another chance to step outside his usual box and show off a different side of his acting range. At first glance, Maui might seem just like another typical rock character, big, bold, heroic, and charming. But there's more to Maui than meets the eye. He's an overconfident tough guy who's actually pretty insecure and has a sweet side. The movie often pokes fun at him for this, so it'll be interesting to see how Johnson brings those emotions to life in a live-action setting. How will the filmmakers take an action star as imposing as The Rock and make him genuinely silly and funny? It'll be fun to watch him tackle that challenge. Well guys, while Dwayne Johnson could potentially step away from wrestling after his big return, the overwhelmingly positive reaction suggests he's more likely to continue. In a social media video on April 15, 2024, he hinted at this, saying, "What an honor it was to break records, and now my sights are set on the next WrestleMania, but that's a conversation down the road." On the bright side, James Gunn responded to Johnson's tweet with, "Love The Rock, and I'm always excited to see what he and $7 do next. Can't wait to collaborate soon." This suggests Gunn isn't entirely done with Black Adam yet. If Black Adam 2 were to happen, you can bet Dwayne Johnson would be back as the titular antihero, especially considering how much he's invested in the film. There's a good chance Hawkman, played by Aldous Hodge, Atom Smasher, played by Noah Centineo, Cyclone, played by Quintessa Swindell, and Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, could also return for another round. Unfortunately, Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan, won't be making a comeback since his character didn't make it through Black Adam. Adriana Tomaz, played by Sarah Shahi, could return after her role in Saving the World, possibly alongside her brother Kareem, played by Mohammed Amr. What the story for Black Adam 2 might have been is still a mystery, especially now that the sequel seems to have been scrapped, as hinted by Dwayne Johnson's Twitter statement. The first film wrapped up with Black Adam and the Justice Society defeating Sabbac, so any continuation of the superhero's journey will likely happen in other DCU projects. Since Superman was teased in the Black Adam post-credit scene, there was speculation that the anti-hero could appear in Superman Legacy. However, with the major recasting happening to build a fresh slate for the new DCU, this might not be a realistic possibility. Given that Amanda Waller showed up in Black Adam's post-credit scene, there's a chance he could appear in the Waller series or Peacemaker Season 2. This would make sense, considering Black Adam was briefly part of the Suicide Squad in the comics, and James Gunn's approval of Johnson's casting could lead to a reimagined storyline. This route is intriguing, especially since it could reunite Johnson and John Cena, both wrestling legends. However, the budget for these shows might make it challenging, given Johnson's usual multi-million-dollar salary for his movie roles. The only thing that seems certain is that Black Adam won't be returning in a sequel anytime soon. Well, that's it for today. That's the latest on Black Adam 2 and what might be in store for Dwayne Johnson's future in the DCU. With so many twists and turns, it's hard to say what'll happen next. What do you think? Should The Rock step back into the DC universe, or is it time for a new direction? Let us know in the comments.